Makes a church that has arms that reach and embrace. That makes a circle of love that draws in and welcomes and embraces. That's what deep love will do for us. Because you'll notice the verse is, it says there, above all, love each other deeply, because love covers a multitude of sins. That's the text. The New English version puts it this way. Love cancels innumerable sins. There's enough grace to overlook our many faults. I think that's the Living Bible translation. Is there enough grace? Is there enough grace to overlook, to cover, to forgive? Is there enough grace? The Message translation puts it this way. Love makes up for practically everything. Now, are we a wide church? You know, many times Christians pride themselves on being deep. We go deep, you know. We're deep in the scriptures. We're deep in this and deep in that. We're not deep unless we're wide. Because being deep will bring a width to the church. Because grace covers, it never exposes. This particular verse about love covering a multitude of sins comes from the book of Proverbs, Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 12, and also is quoted in the book of James, the last two verses of the book of James, James chapter 5, verses 19 and 20. And in James, he's talking about being a person who brings people back to Jesus. People who have offended, people who have sinned, that bring them back, because love will cover a multitude of sins. Proverbs is talking about the fact that hatred creates conflict. We are not called to create conflict. The church is not in the world to stir up junk, because love covers a multitude of sins. We are not the morality police of Canada. That's not why we're here. We're here because we are to be administrators. We are to be stewards of grace that covers, grace that provides forgiveness. A shallow church is a disappointment, but a narrow church is a curse. That's the kind of environment where you always feel like you're under surveillance. That in the church there's somehow or other there's cameras and they're watching you. And you don't dare slip up. You don't dare, everybody is under suspicion. And there's a gossipy, mean-spirited kind of environment that's always scratching the scabs off of sores, and sin is exposed and people are left naked. No. That's not the grace of God. That's not the gospel of Jesus Christ. The gospel of Christ is there is an atonement for sin. There is a covering for sin. And we are to be the faithful stewards of the grace of God.